everybody, welcome back. So today we finally got some rain. It's been 90 plus degrees out for days and it's forecasted to stay like that. So it's nice we got some rain. A little breezy out now, but my ducks are trying to get to the road so they can be annoying, so I'm watching them. But I've got all this mowed down, and right over here is the big garden, and then there's my small garden, which I don't think I've shown you guys the small garden yet. So yeah, I'll show you guys that today. It's kind of messy, but it's okay. But first, never mind my non-matching socks. I want to thank the sponsor of today's video, and that is TrueDave. They sent me 2 pairs of shoes. Well, one pair are pull-on fishing boots, but you can use them for a lot of stuff. And then these are the gardening shoes. So these are also pull-on, and they're pretty easy, but there's like a nice tight seal here so no dirt gets in. And you can see the tread, there's tons of tread. These are the garden shoes. But I actually went out, and the field back there, I walked the entire thing, and I pretty much used these like the whole time. So they're pretty good. And like I said, once they're on, they're snug, but you can pull them on or pull them off. But I like these, but we're gonna swap into the other pair that they sent me, because now we're dealing with a lot of mud today. So here's the other pair that they sent me, and these are the fishing deck boots. And this bag here is what the garden shoes come in. But like I said, I've been wearing these now for a couple of things. I've been using them in the garden because the traction's really good. But wow. All right, so we're gonna put these things on. I picked the color out. I really like this blue with the orange. Just reminds me of like nighttime catfishing. So yeah, check those out. These are the fishing deck boots. So we're gonna wear these for the video, but we'll talk more on them later. I'm gonna get these slipped on. All right, so we got those on, and we're gonna wear them now, because I don't know if you can tell, I don't know, it's been so dry, it's gonna take a little bit for this to turn back to mud, but some of these areas are just straight mud now. But yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and start in the side garden here. This has been a work in progress. I've been doing a lot in here. I went ahead and mowed. You can see where the field grass stops right here. So I've been mowing all this down. I weed whacked here, but it needs weed whacked again. So I'll take you in there real quick and I'll show you what I've been doing. But this is just the side garden. The rainbow is still huge. All right, so we're at the chicken coop here, and I gotta build a ramp for that soon. But we have some petunias and then some alyssum, and it's been real dry, but I've been keeping these watered. And I want to mention, before we even go through the gardens, I just gave pretty much everything a dose of fish fertilizer. So I just mix that in with water. It's Alaska fish fertilizer, and I mixed that with water, and then everything has been getting that. So these will really start to pull through. But pretty much this petunia and this one, they only cost me like 30 cents, because I got like a 4-pack for just, I mean, not much at all. Literally like, now they're probably about 50 cents a piece, but they're turning out nice. I like that. And then right here is the garden. I got some cow compost there. So we're gonna open the gate. And like I said, I haven't shown in here this year. Usually this is the garden that I'm showing on videos, but you guys are gonna see how it's going. So I gotta get through here and put some landscaping fabric down so I can put mulch. But right here we have alyssum, coleus, moss rose, and I have those hung up on the wall. I got the same assortment here, and I made these a while ago now, and they're doing real well. But you got to keep them watered when they're like that. So here in our raised bed, we've been eating lettuce out of this for a while now. All this lettuce is what popped up down on the ground this spring and in containers, and pretty much I just went through and plugged them all in here, and they're pulling through nice. But this hot weather, it's in the 90s right now, this lettuce isn't going to last much longer. It's going to bolt, then it'll go sour. So pretty much that means it's when it gets real warm and sunny, these will try to go to seed and it ruins the taste big time. So we've got lettuce, and in the back we've got morning glories, which I'm letting them kind of grow up. And I just did this. This is something I literally, like, last night just did. So this was all grass and weeds through here. So this side I went through, weed whacked it down to bare dirt, and then I got grass clippings, since I've been cutting the whole lawn, and I threw grass clippings down along here, and I'm hoping that'll make a nice floor there. But then what I did was I put landscape fabric underneath this red mulch. They've got a guinea over there that's going crazy, but I put the landscape fabric down, and just today I got 3 bags of mulch from Walmart. They were on sale for $2 a piece, and I went ahead and come through and did the mulch. So starting here, this soil is toxic. There's 4 squares here in this fabric bed. See, it's like a raised bed. There's 4 squares. This square is toxic dirt. It has a lot of wood ash. I got to replace that. This one here, I have some later red onions, and these tomatoes I did not plant. These are out of my compost, and you're going to see a lot more of this throughout this video. But those are all tomatoes that need transplanted. These are tomatoes that need transplanted. And then early this spring, technically still during winter, I planted onion seeds in here from seed, and these are starting to take off pretty well. Over here I have some red beets. I have to come through and weed it. There's also tomatoes growing in here from my compost that I used, but I got to come through here and weed all this out. There's all kinds of weeds. And moving on to the containers here, these are hit or miss right now. It's something that I need to work on, but what happened was I used a lot of my compost from our pit, and most of the compost from that pit had a ton of wood ash that I thought was composted enough, but it wasn't. So whenever I put compost in these containers, some of them got way too much of that wood ash, and that is not good. But some of them, they're okay. So right here we have a big container. These are, I know I gotta weed these out, but right here, these are all tomatoes. I did not plant a single one of these tomatoes. They're just in here taking over. And then right there, we've got a pepper in the center. Here we have some dill. Pretty big patch of dill here. I got one here and one over here. I got a pepper here with tomatoes around it. I have a pepper here, and this is basil right here. Back here, I've got dill, pepper in the center, and then we have big tomatoes that, once again, I didn't plant. This tomato here, I messed up and planted it in this container, and it took off. This is a Sun Sugar cherry tomato. This thing's massive. But underneath it is a orange blaze bell pepper. So I'll come through and prune this tomato so that this pepper can get some sunlight, and I think it'll do well. Right here is another container that's got a pepper that has too much acid in there. Here is my blueberry, which I'm hoping it likes this compost. And then I don't know what berry bush this is. Is it a Kai or something like that? If any of you know, let me know. But it's starting to take off. I got it from Tractor Supply like 3 years ago. Over here I have a fig tree that I planted. It's starting to root in nice. And I also picked up a grape, which it looks a little stressed, but I think it's fine. Here's another Sun Sugar tomato. My lavender's not doing good. It's holding on, but it's not doing the best. Over here we have our rhubarb, oregano, lemon balm, chives, sage, and I got marigolds. And then once again, there's petunias and moss roses. This basket probably cost me, I don't know, $3 to make. I like it. And once again, the nice mulch I just put. This side here, we've got cucumbers, which we already have some cucumbers that are starting. It's actually one right there, and it looks pollinated. So we got 4 climbing up this trellis. They're looking good. And we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 on that hog panel. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zucchini right here. So I have this fenced off because of the ducks. I just went through and I put tin foil around the bottom of the zucchini to keep some of them bugs from boring in there. And I also used organic fertilizer, pellet, and fish fertilizer for all of them. So right here is where I gotta finish putting mulch. But here's my flower garden so far. There's Veronica in this grass. I got bee balm, Kentucky primrose or Missouri primrose, either one. Yarrow. And then back here we have horseradish. That is all horseradish. I gotta go in and weed that out. There's blackberries that I stole from out back there and planted here. So we'll see how they do. That's my new compost pit. And then this side has completely changed. So pretty much this side now is all perennial flowers. This is normally where I'd have peppers, and I do have some peppers in here, but now I've turned it into a perennial garden, which my main goal with this garden now, since I have the big one, is to turn it into a pollinator garden. So we'll see how all that goes. Right here we have some nice tomatoes. What do I have? I have 10 of them in here, and I really pruned these because they were starting to get the fungus going on them. But we'll see how these do. I don't really need these tomatoes, but whatever they produce is nice. So that's it for this garden. Try to do that as fast as I could. What was that, like probably 10 minutes? But that's it for the side garden so far. Just an update on the growth, and we're gonna go ahead and hop over to the main garden. And one last thing I forgot, I have a pot right here and it has Sweet Ann in it. Yeah, Sweet Annie. So we'll see how that does. It smells real good. All right, so I'm gonna do this tour as fast as I can as well. So we just finally had rain, like I said, so they're gonna be doing a lot better the next day or two. But right here we have our tomatoes. This is the low spot, so these tomatoes struggled a bit, but now they're starting to take off because this is where all the water would go into the tarp and sit. But they're looking good. They're starting to take off, and we'll walk up through here. These are all tomatoes. They're looking good. So you can see the tomato section here. And right here I added a new tarp. This was all weeds that were this high. I weed whacked it down, put this tarp. I dug up my sedum and my lemon balm here. And once the tarp was down, I burnt new holes, stuck those back in, and I stuck in a rhubarb. And now we have an extra little side garden here. Here we got some peppers. These are Carmen Sweet, but you can see they're getting tons of flowers. I've been taking the flowers off. I don't want them putting on fruit just yet, but some of these are looking pretty good. Nice dark green leaves. They were really bright yellow, but I gave them that fish fertilizer. That's a banana pepper. Banana peppers. And some of these tomatoes are already almost out of the tomato cage. So we're gonna have some nice tomatoes not too much longer. But the peppers, once again, we got some bigger plants. And those run all the way down the tarp. They've grown a lot since the last video. Here we got green beans. I had to completely reseed the green beans, and they come up successfully. Last time I did them, the seeds rotted. There was too much rain. And now that we've had the opposite problem and not enough rain, the seeds took, and now we've got an entire row of green beans down the fence. Here we have some cosmos and some marigolds. We have a random volunteer squash that come up. Right here we got a cucumber that I stuck in for this hog panel, and I just reseeded. I put 2 seeds in that hole, cucumber, and then 2 cucumber seeds in that hole, and we've got another cucumber there. So I'm gonna have multiple crops of them, which will be nice. Watermelon's starting to vine out. I've been really fertilizing it, and it's getting ready to take off, which is great. I've never really grown a nice watermelon. Right here, we've got our squash. We've got all kinds. These first 3 plants are sugar pie pumpkin. And then we've got butternut squash. And then some other random gourds and stuff that I planted. Right through here, this took a lot of work, but I was able to do it. I made mini mounds, and they run all the way up to the end there. And each mound has sweet corn. And it's actually popping up right now. That's the sweet corn. I'll thin them out, but I'm gonna see if this method does well. Because as you can see here, I've got 12 stalks of corn that I did earlier, and I've got green beans growing with them. So we'll see if they climb up the corn. And right past here, we got a zucchini. And this is where the craziness has been happening. It's like a bunch of zombies coming out of the graves. These are all potatoes, and if you guys watched the last update, you would have seen that we stuck the potatoes in. Well, they're up. So this is a lot of potatoes. Trust me though, my family will eat them, but they're all starting to push through. You can see the rows, but eventually this will be about this high and just an entire bush of potatoes. I mean, I give it even 3 weeks from now, this will just be like a field of potatoes. Over there, we stuck some sunflowers, and they're starting to pull through. I think we're gonna get at least probably a dozen good stalks. But as you can see, we've got some water sitting on the tarp once again, which is fine. It's gonna be 94 tomorrow, sun, so. But I know a lot of people said on the last video, well, a handful, and I already knew it would happen. There's a little tiny hummingbird up there. See if I can zoom in. He's sitting there. That's a sunflower stalk from last year. But a lot of people were saying how the plastic, you know, may not be safe. That might be the case, but I haven't had a problem with it. Nothing that I can notice, and it does decent. I know it's not really breathable, but since I've started using this plastic, I've had no problems with it. And you know, maybe it does seep into the plants, I'm not sure, but I really like this method. So right here, we've got onions on the ground. These were just extra sets. I threw them down there. We got purple basil there, marigold, got snapdragon. We have cosmos, which actually, this one's like a dual color. I thought that was cool. We've got some wild morning glories here climbing up the sunflower stalk. They're like a light pink. And they're also climbing up the asparagus stalk here, which that's fine. So the sunflowers, I gotta come thin them out. There's too many there, but they'll do fine. Always got some flowers here. There's the flag. Petunias. Up here, man. The vines have just been doing really well this year. How many bird keeps flying by? I think this is trumpet, maybe? Trumpet vine? I'm not sure. But yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with like the flowers up front here. We got a little tiny project to do, and we're gonna go do that now. And it's mainly why I stuck these boots on. Might get a little muddy, but there's a pile of dirt over in there that's untouched, and I want to make a 3 Sisters method big mound and plant corn and peas or green beans. So let's go over there and do that. So here's the square that I have left. I went and did all those mounds, but we're gonna do a big mound right here. Not real high, but this whole square is gonna be a mound. So first, we're gonna get in here and till it up. All right, now that I got the weeds out and I have it tilled, I'm gonna dig a hole from here to here and just set that dirt to the side for now. All right, so we have a pit dug. I just threw a bunch of mussel shells in there and just a little bit of straw that was with them. And here I have some, what is this, 050505, what is it? Just cow manure and compost. It's very sandy. Take a Scoop out of here. Don't want to use too much of this kind of stuff, and make sure it's broke down. Give it a sniff. If you're dealing with cow manure, make sure it's not real strong like ammonia. And this is perfectly fine. This is some good stuff. This is like $3 at Walmart for this bag. And just to show you, it is worth getting, because that right there, that brown, that's all cow crap. But that's on a grass field, and there's a big difference between these plants and that kind of grass. You don't want to use straight cow manure like that for plants like this. So I'm going to get a decent amount of that in here, and then what we're going to do is just lightly kind of give it a top till like that, and then we'll bury it again. Now we're going to bury it again, just grabbing the dirt that I dug up and folding it over. So there's our mound. We've got tarp here, tarp there, so we don't have to worry about weeds over this way. So now what I'm going to do is go through, and I'm actually going to tear out some of these mounds here, because I kind of want to plant another one of those big mounds instead of these little ones. So I'm going to go through here. These are really hardened up, and the corn is starting to come up. I'm going to take it out of here, and we're going to stick it on there. All right, so here we have 2 mounds. I went ahead and tore out, I think, about 9 of those mounds there, and the corn that was coming up in those mounds I put in this one, and then this mound has nothing. I'm going to just plant some sweet corn seeds in there. So I'm going to get I'm going to put like 9 sweet corn seeds in here. So we'll stick them in, and then I'm going to wait for the corn to grow, and then I'll do the green beans. And as far as the pumpkins go, we have watermelon here that's going to vine over. We have a pumpkin there, and those are all pumpkins. So that'll be our third sister. So you have your corn, you have your green beans, or climbing vine like peas up the corn, and then to cover and keep moisture underground and to keep the weeds out, your squash grows in down under the corn and your vines. So you have the 3 sisters. So this will be a work in progress throughout updates and videos, but yeah. So I'm gonna get some seeds in there. I hope you guys could see those deer that are out in our field right now eating. But we're gonna go through here, make some holes, drop some corn in. It's that simple. These are kind of random holes. I'm not doing it in a perfect row or anything like that. Just sticking the corn in and covering it. All right, so now I'm gonna put some of this, you can't really see, but I'm gonna put some of this cow manure around the potatoes. Just gonna get a shovelful here and scatter. Alright guys, so these shoes have a bunch of holes in them, and when I'm in the garden they are comfortable, but the problem with them is they fill up with tons of dirt and it just gets clogged in my shoe. So just like that, we got our garden shoes slipped on. And I also want to mention real quick, I know these are 2 different socks. Yesterday it got real dark out and I couldn't film, so I figured I'd come back out today and film. So we just got a couple of things. I got a buy one get one free plants earlier from the farmer's market, and I got celery and I got yellow squash. So we're gonna get those planted in, and I'll just add it into this video. This is probably gonna be like a 25-30 minute video, but I'm gonna go ahead and add it in. So if you guys can tell, it's just been so hot out. That's like Ohio pretty much. You can see Ohio from here, just way over there. But there is so much humidity, it's crazy. So first, let's go over to the big garden and get those planted real quick. I come in this garden and get this mulch done. This will probably take me, I don't know, 10 minutes. But what I did was I just simply weed whacked down to base level ground, and then I put some of this ground fabric down, which was given to us, but it's like $6 at Dollar General. And I rolled it out and put the pavers back down and just put mulch. So I mean, all I'm doing is just very simple common sense here, but I'm just pulling this out and stretching it as I go, and then I'm coming through and putting some on. I'm not putting it real thick because there's going to be no weeds. So that's what it looks like right now. We'll get it done, see what it looks like. All right, so I'm very dizzy from crouching so long, but here it is. There's our little stepping stones. I just fell over. But yeah, I just gotta finish the end here. I gotta run the weed whacker around here and cover that, and then my bird water pan will go at the end here. But there's that. Starting to look pretty nice in here. Once these flowers take hold, they'll do good, but this side will look really nice soon here. It'll all bloom. So yep, that's it with the side garden here for now. That's the update on that. Got some cucumbers that are getting bigger. Well, it's now dark out, so we're gonna go by silhouettes here. That is 3 yellow squash plants. This was $1 for these 3. They're huge. So I'm just gonna go ahead. I don't even have my flashlight. I'm gonna stick them in the ground. So we've got some yellow squash now, but that should be about it because it is dark. I hope you guys enjoyed. I know this is kind of just one of the random videos again, but I know some of you wanted to see the garden update, and it wasn't too long ago I put one up, but the garden grows so fast, and I never really showed this garden over here. So I do want to thank the sponsor of the video though, True Dave, for sending me the fishing deck boots, which to test those more, I'm going to use those in, you know, fishing videos. But I really did use these garden shoes a lot, and I really like them. So if you guys could tell, I took these off because I don't normally wear socks, but for these I've been wearing socks. But I wore these Crocs out, and you know, they're comfortable and all. The problem with my Crocs is when I'm in my garden, they fill up with mud, and when I'm walking, they just completely just there's grass, there's mud, there's everything in the bottom of the shoe. So these are great for walking, like when I've gone through well, down there I haven't shown yet, but the pumpkin patch, I've been kind of mowing it down and everything, but these are nice for that because there's no holes and they seal right around my ankle, and then they have tons of grip because we have that, like, I don't know the name of the weed that's down there, but it has them little prickers all over it, and you want something good around your foot for those because it hurts. But yeah, I really like these garden shoes. I haven't used the deck boots a lot yet, but I'll use them in a future video. But if you guys want to save some money, I'll have that up on screen, what you could save, and also a promo code. If you want to check them out, please check them out. And yeah, I appreciate True Dave for sponsoring this. And as far as the garden goes, you know, it's always a work in progress. I mean, there's never not work that needs done in the garden. So this garden, I'm pretty happy with it. It went from garbage to, in a few days, I've turned it into like really nice again, or at least decent. It was really bad in this garden. That's why I never showed it last time. So this garden, I will get stuff out of it. Not going to be a ton, but I will get stuff. And the big garden, I'm going to get quite a bit. So hope you guys enjoyed, and there will be more garden videos. But yeah, thanks True Dave, and all links will be down below if you want to check them out. And I'll see you guys in the next video.